Welcome underneath the van, guys. I'm really excited to showcase this. Again, me being a mechanic, I've really put a lot of effort into making sure that this is the best it can be, and it will stand up to the hardest rigours of off-road use. So I've spoke about it earlier in regards to our subframe. So these cross members up underneath here are actually bonded to the shell when it's made, and this is what I'm saying, it's made on a jig. And we start with these cross members on the jig and we build up from there, millimetre perfect. There's an old saying, if you're a millimetre out at the bottom, you're 100 mil out at the top. Well, that's very common when you build from the chassis up. You hot dip gala chassis, it'll come back twisted. They can do their best to try and, twist it back and whatnot, but you'll never get it straight. And that means that they're starting from a flawed or a twisted chassis, and after that, it's just trying to make up for all of those errors by fabrication and whatnot. We don't have that problem. We start millimetre perfect, and as everything above is cut by machine, it is millimetre perfect, and it all keyways whatnot together. It's awesome. So this subframe also allows us to run all of the piping and the electrical and conduiting through that subframe as well. Our tanks are up out of the way, so if you're going to rub it onto something, with your approach angle, so your ramp over angle here, if you do rub it against the ground, all your critical components are above the lowest point of your chassis. Got your stainless steel air tank, again, tucked up out of the way. Pump is underneath the van. Should you ever have any dramas, it's not going to flood your van. You've got your cruise masters and all of that, and I'm not going to say for one second that they aren't awesome. They genuinely are awesome. But we had some ideas that we wanted to bring to the market, and so what we've done is we've brought our own suspension to the market. Now, we've got about 340 of these on the road right now, and absolutely being flogged all around Australia with divisions. So we've got our trailing arm airbag suspension, and then we've got our ventilated disc brakes as well. As I said, we run a positive 35. Everyone else runs a zero. A zero offset is basically from the dark ages when we used to have live axle front end four-wheel drives. When we went to an independent front end, to be able to get the travel in it, they've moved the offset of those wheels to a positive nature. So you'll find that most vehicles are positive 40, positive 50. We run a positive 35 because it's actually what most people will go to in regards to aftermarket wheels on their vehicle. So these come in either a 5-stud or a 6-stud. You just tell us which one you want, and then most vehicles will be running a 285 70-17 now, which is about a 32.5. So these wheels are interchangeable depending on your rolling diameter of your vehicle. We run twin ARB shocks, and again, super strong. One of the big reasons we've done our own suspension is to have double lockouts and bolted double lockouts. The lockouts on most suspension when they're adjusted is a cam style, but then it only stays in place with how tight you do the bolt up. We don't rely on that. And then we have lockout bolts, not on just one side, we have it on both sides. Okay, so you're always, when you get your wheel alignment right, it stays right, okay? Again, beautiful big arc all the way through. Everything's up out of the way. We've also, because we fabricate everything, again, we've got our grey tank tucked up between the suspension arms down the back here, and that's a petitioned grey tank, again, because we fabricate everything. That's got a 75 litre grey component and a 14 litre urine component, and they're separately plumbed into those tanks and out of those tanks. So a great use of space. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Underneath here, you've got facility for a 4th tank to go to 400 litres, and you've even got another tank in here should you really want to go for that extra capacity underneath. So really, really game-changing underneath here.